All week long, ABC News is looking at the power of water. Today, it's all about America's majestic and fragile rivers. Chief Meteorologist and head of ABC's climate unit, Ginger Zee, is near one of the thousands of islands rapidly disappearing in the Mississippi Delta in Louisiana. The community there is one of the first in the U.S. to be displaced by climate change. Here's Ginger Zee.
The mighty Mississippi River, running through 10 states, terminating in the Mississippi Delta and thousands of wetland islands along the Gulf Coast. But today, some of those islands are being swallowed up.
I didn't think it was going to happen in my lifetime.
Chris Brunet's hometown on Isle de Jean Charles routinely cut off by storms, homes mangled by Hurricane Ida, exacerbating the problems that have been threatening them for decades.
Once a thriving town of 400 people at its peak, Isle de Jean Charles, right behind me, used to have 22,000 acres of land. Now, only 320. They've lost 98% of the land here.
Look at the satellite images from 1963. Then fast forward to 2016. The island is shrinking due to a few things. Number one, sea level rise. Also, humans constructed levees upstream that prevented natural sediment to replenish the islands. And then the natural sinking of coastal wetland.
When you take all those things together, you're looking at very, very high rates of sea level rise relative to the land. And this is only the beginning. We're going to see many more communities that are going to disappear.
My environment was being challenged. So at that gradual process, more land was being eroded, by the Gulf of Mexico. That's what brought me to make a decision I never wanted it to make.
With a $48.3 million federal grant, Louisiana built a new town just 40 miles north, but 12 feet higher above sea level. The land and homes free to all recent residents of Isle de Jean Charles.
It's been beautiful. I tell people this is the most luxurious house I ever lived in. More protection over here than on the island.
Folks there named the new town New Isle, and 100 families will call it home by the end of this year.
I use the word displaced because that's what I feel what I am, but then also at the same time, this is like a new journey.
Back on Isle de Jean Charles, we meet Edison and Elizabeth Dardar. They have no plans to leave.
I got my home over here. I was raised here, so I'm gonna stay here.
I gotta rebuild if I want to stay. Like I always say, we fight for our country, and we can fight for our land.
Each morning, Edison wakes up, opens the door, and hollers.
Woo! That means I feel good, and I'm free.
Chantel Comadel is on the tribal council.
Starting all over, learning a new way of life and a new experience, and it's very difficult. And I really respect them for their decision to not leave. I think they had to make that choice for themselves.
Losing these islands is not just impacting the people of Isle de Jean Charles.
Our coastal wetlands are the most valuable ecosystems that we have in the United States. They provide protection from storms. They literally absorb a lot of pollution that is coming from the hinterland through the Mississippi River, things like fertilizers. And without coastal wetlands, we are going to lose all our fisheries in this region.
A complex issue and a resilient community adapting to an ever-changing planet.
I have been praying and thinking about the possibility of just going from house to house and just visit everybody and share with them and building them into a community.
Now, this is one of those stories that makes you aware how rapidly and how we are really living the change. So we took this boat out, and it has a navigation chart. At times, it was telling us we were on land, but it's actually water. And so the charts need updating that quickly. And also something we see on these maps are very unnatural straight lines. And we were told by our captain here that those straight lines are the canals dug by oil and gas. There are more than 10,000 canals throughout these wetlands, and those helped saltwater intrude. Just one more part of this very complex story, Mona.
It is just incredible to see what is happening in the Isle of Jean Charles. They've been told that their community is no longer a safe place to live. Is there other places in the United States where we're seeing that due to the coastline?
Well, the sinking of land all along the Gulf Coast, also where we see sea level rise double the global average. Absolutely, there are other communities. The chief meteorologist at our affiliate KATC, Rob Perillo, is just to my side here, and we were just talking about the other towns all around here, just north of here. This is not something that is going to be happening in the next generation. We will see more of these folks displaced by the water coming up for all of those reasons very soon.
That's incredible. And Ginger, tens of millions of Americans are at risk of rising sea levels. What does the latest research say is behind this rapid rise that we're seeing?
So this is the interesting thing. We learned just last week there was a new study that said the natural current of the ocean, especially in the Gulf of Mexico and in the southeastern United States, is at a high. It goes in peaks and valleys, as everything goes in a cycle on Earth. Here's what's different. We have not only taken that high, but we've made that high higher by emitting greenhouse global emissions that has made the sea level rise even faster. They do anticipate this area to see the low in the natural cycle, but with all of these other elements together, it's not like we're going to suddenly see land coming up again, because we have manipulated the land, even just by our human touch, in so many ways. Mona.
Ginger Zee, thank you so much for putting this into perspective for us.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.